Hello everyone, welcome to our channel of meetings assistance for Jehovah's Witnesses. I hope all of you are doing well. This week, we will prepare for the comments from the section, Let's Find Hidden Gems. We are in the week of March 17th to 23rd, during which we will analyze the book of Proverbs 5. Let's begin. The first question is, in what sense does the person who falls into sexual immorality give others their dignity? Before answering the question, let's read the Bible text. Proverbs 4:18 says, "Do not let others take your dignity and reap years of suffering." Alright, so the answer to the question is, the person who falls into sexual immorality not only loses their own dignity, but also that of the other person involved. Intimacy should be an act of respect and love, but by giving into it outside of marriage, it becomes a selfish satisfaction, without considering the true value of the people involved. Sin, in this sense, destroys the dignity of all those who participate, turning them into objects of desire instead of valuable human beings who should be treated with respect and love. Additional comments: when someone falls into sexual immorality, it's as if they are ignoring the value of their own body and that of the other person. Intimacy should be based on genuine love and mutual respect, not on the satisfaction of fleeting passions. By staying away from immorality, we show that we value both our own dignity and that of others, and in this way, we can maintain healthy and respectful relationships, as Jehovah desires. If we fall into sexual immorality, what we are doing is losing the opportunity to enjoy the relationship in its true sense, which is loving and committed. Not only are we harming our relationship with Jehovah, but we are also treating others as objects of pleasure rather than as people deserving of respect and love. Maintaining purity and respecting the boundaries Jehovah has set is the correct way to value our dignity and that of others, and it brings us true happiness and peace. Let's move on to the next question. What spiritual gems have you found about Jehovah, the ministry, and other topics in this week's Bible reading? Proverbs 5:1-2 says, "My son, pay attention to my wisdom, listen carefully to what I teach about discernment, so that you may protect your thinking ability and defend with your lips the knowledge." Alright, so the comment is, in these verses, we are encouraged to listen and learn from God's wisdom, because it will help us make wise decisions. It's like when someone gives you good advice, if you listen and put it into practice, it will benefit you. By staying firm in Jehovah's principles, you will be able to make decisions that help you lead a happier and safer life. Let's move on to the next comment. Proverbs 5:3-4 says, "For the lips of a wayward woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is as bitter as wormwood, sharp as a double-edged sword." Alright, so the comment is, this verse warns us about temptations that may seem attractive, like something sweet or pleasurable, but in reality, they can cause us a lot of harm. Imagine someone offers you something that at first seems really good, but later brings you problems or pain. The same happens with sin. Although it may sometimes seem tempting or easy, it always brings negative consequences, and we must avoid it. Let's move on to the next comment. Proverbs 5:8 says, "Stay away from her, and do not go near the door of her house." Alright, so the comment is, here, we are advised to stay away from situations that could lead us to sin. If we know that something could cause us to stumble, it is best to keep our distance. For example, if we know that being in certain places or with certain people puts us at risk of doing something wrong, we should be wise and avoid those places or people. Let's move on to the next comment. Proverbs 5:15-16 says, "Drink water from your own cistern and running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares?" Alright, so the comment is, this verse speaks about faithfulness in marriage. The wise man reminds us that we must be loyal to our partner and enjoy the relationship within the boundaries Jehovah sets. If we take care of our marriage and keep the relationship with our partner pure, it will be a blessing. Intimacy between husband and wife is something Jehovah has designed to be good and special, but outside those boundaries, it can bring problems and suffering. Let's move on to the next comment. Proverbs 5:21 says, "For a man's ways are in full view of Jehovah, and he examines all his paths." Alright, so the comment is, this verse reminds us that Jehovah always sees what we do, even when we think no one else is watching. That's why it's important to live according to his principles, not only when we are at the congregation or with other brothers, but at all times. Knowing that Jehovah is watching us should motivate us to do what's right, even if no one else knows. Let's move on to the next comment. Proverbs 5:22-23 says, "The wicked will be ensnared by their own iniquities, they will be caught in the cords of their sin. They will die for lack of discipline, and be lost for their great folly." Alright, so the comment is, these verses show us how dangerous disobedience to Jehovah can be. When someone decides to live according to their own desires and rejects correction, they put themselves in a dangerous position. In the end, sin brings severe consequences. But if we listen to Jehovah's warnings and follow his principles, we will avoid these problems. It's better to live according to what God wants because it will protect us from the traps of sin. Well, that was the analysis of the comments and answers for the hidden gems of this week. I hope it is very helpful to all my dear brothers and sisters. I send you a big hug, and may Jehovah bless and protect you always.